All right. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, guys and gals. Hey, guys and gals, you beautiful people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Getting you guys and gals all pumped up and excited to learn. Is it working? Is it working? I hope so. I certainly hope so. Let's go. Turn it up. Turn it up. Not the turn ups, but let's turn it up. For you lurkers and twerkers and sandwich making workers, much love, much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by, dropping by, lurking and twerking, and checking out the content in the channel. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I truly do. I truly do. Hey, not bad, not bad. Maybe I should get into singing, guys. Hold up, hold up. We gotta do this. We gotta do this. We must. All right, kind of in a good mood today. It helps, definitely helps when you, especially when you have coffee. Remember, guys and gals, don't forget, buy me a coffee. Johnny is a much happier guy with coffee. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, I want to also continue. I'm gonna finish up with the quotes and such and chat. Dropping those quotes for you guys and gals that are watching live. appreciate you being here. It's to keep you motivated. It's to help motivate you, give you a different perspective, and yeah, just in general, some positivity and such. Followers, supporters, you know I care about you guys and gals. You know I do. Hits me right in the heart. Truly does. Truly does. Thank you for this support, whoever you are, wherever you are. Man, I can't say it enough. Like, you guys, like, thanks for showing the love, watching the content, being a supporter, follower of the channels, whichever platform you're on. You guys know I appreciate you. Thank you all for being winners and not quitters. Let's go. I love it. I love ya, winners. Okay. I'm gonna also try to drop in, well, just bring in my own positivity as well. Kind of let you know where I'm at and to help you out, keep you motivated and going. But before I do that, I must finish in chat. I need to just get this off my mind so that I'm not so distracted. It's so easy for me to be distracted, guys. So easy. I don't, when I'm working, I don't like to be distracted. That's just the kind of person I am. Like, if I'm focused and I'm in the grind and I just want to dig in, you know, I don't like being distracted. Okay? I will, you know, say, I love you, whoever comes in and distracts me. And then I'll kindly say, please leave. I'm working. Love you, kid. Talking about my kid too. Poor guy. Okay. Do this. Let's do this. How's your day going? How's your weekend? How was your weekend? I hope it was great. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday days. It is Tuesday. If this is not live and it's not Tuesday, happy whichever day that it is for you at this current moment while you're watching. Let's go. I gotta be careful here. We are, you know, on Twitch. There's a little bit of chat and stuff going on and everything. I gotta be careful not to drink my coffee too quickly here. I'm just shy of 16 ounces. Okay, it's I don't know what's the word. It's likable, I guess. I like the fact that it's around 16 ounces, but yeah, I need to slow down. Man, I just want to drink it right now. And if any of you have been following the series and that, I pretty much just keep going right through the 2 hours. We are doing a lecture / class here, guys and gals. So those of you that are dropping by for the first time, checking out the content, it's great to have you! It truly is. It's great to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are super welcome. 100%. If you are new and let's say you're interested in learning C++, which is great. I support you in that dream. 100% I do. Here to help. That's kind of what I'm doing here, right? Help you guys learn and grow. Again, like, so I have to kind of export all my past streams to YouTube. I'm just gonna say, you guys over here in Twitch land have been, like, you guys are killing it. Okay, much love for the views and the support. Keep it up, guys and gals. You guys are great. But anyways, it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. I don't know. But it's fortunate to be able to back up all my videos. So I export them to YouTube's. They're all there, all the series. I kind of have a lecture C++ series over there. Johnny with Whiskey Tango Sharp coding. Okay, you should be able to find it, no problem. There's no whiskey drinking over here, guys, gals. I quit drinking years and years and years ago for my kid. I didn't want to be an alcoholic father, you know? Right? It's called manning up and making decisions, good decisions. So, not much healthier for it because of it. So, it's just an acronym. What's it called? Not an acronym. Just trying to think of the word. I'll bring it up. It's a military thing. I know it's an alphabet, but what do they call it? What why? God, why are you being so lame? Yeah, there. NATO phonetic alphabet. Okay, phonetic. All right, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, enough of that. Let's continue. I keep going off topic, but yeah, check out that if you want to follow the series. You kind of have to start from the beginning. I recommend, right? That way you're not lost. I don't want you to be lost or have that lost feeling. Okay, guys and gals? I want you to stay motivated. Keep focused. Remember, if this is what you actually want to do, this is my motivation part for you guys and gals, okay? However, I'm coming across, it doesn't matter. This is kind of what my generation would call tough love, right? Still love you. I love you. Just because I'm coming across strong in a strong manner doesn't mean I don't care. I tell my kid the same thing. He's pretty strong. He can deal with words. But anyways, that's okay. Just have to have an understanding. I want you guys to learn. I care about you guys, right? So I'm trying to help you stay motivated, okay? Positive. You're gonna probably get knocked down. You're probably gonna get almost, there's gonna be days you might want to quit, okay? And that's going to happen to anybody, anything that may be challenging, right? The problem I find with people is they always want the easy way out all the time. Always looking for the easy way all the time, you know? You're never really going to get strong or like even excel or succeed if you're always looking for the easy way. You got something like this, you have to, if it's something you desire and want to do, you have to put your nose to the grindstone. You have to dig in. You have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to grab it, and you want to grab it, and you want to do it. Right? You got to want it. So people that are in your life, loved ones or whoever, you just got to, in a kind way, because we know people's feelings get hurt easily, right? So you got to be, well, anyways, not to go off on topic. I don't want to go down that road, but just kindly say to them, hey, this is what I want to do. This is my interest. I need to focus. I need to be able to work, and I need quiet. I need you to kindly just leave me alone, right? And if they care about you, they'll understand, and they'll be like, okay, I see, I understand. And they should realize, they should respect that you want to learn and better yourself. It doesn't matter which side you're on. I don't care if you're wherever you are, even in the middle. And I don't care. Okay? We're all humans. We all can learn. Okay? So, that's my focus and motivation for you. Stay focused, stay motivated. You take breaks if you need to. Go for walks. Go for a bicycle ride. Take your dog for a walk. Just clear your mind, right? Have that kind of walk with your dog. Let's say you have a pet or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you do, right? And just think, right? And a lot of times, something may be hard or whatever. And if you just kind of walk away from it and think about it for a while, it'll come to you eventually. You might be like, all of a sudden the bells and the whistles and the light bulbs over your head click in, and like that's the magical moment, right? So if you need a short break, take a day or two. Me and myself, I do this like I was committed, so I've been putting the time to grind. Because of it, I don't spend a lot of time with my own son. Poor guy. Like, there's days where I'm like, I feel like I'm pushing him away, right? And that's hard. So, try to balance that too, right? Those that care about you and those that you care about, try to make sure you let them know that you care, okay? So they know, right? But this is a commitment, right? This is something you got to do. I do this 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. Learning new things from C++ to C# to Unity. Now I'm back to doing, like, I want to teach this stuff to you guys, right? Help you guys learn and grow. Okay, you guys are the future. You're the future. The future. And it's not just these languages you have to learn. You have to learn like SQL and Python as well. I always say, guys and gals, if you learn C++ first, any language that you learn after is going to be gravy. It's going to be easy. You're just going to have to believe, okay? Don't be scared to do the hardest, most challenging, most difficult thing first. Because everything after is going to be just gravy on your biscuits. Gravy on your biscuits! And who doesn't love gravy on their biscuits? Okay, that's my motivating for you. Again, I love you. Okay? All right? That's kind of who we are, right? As people. Right? We can still be strong. We can still be firm. We can still be respectful. We can still get our point across. We also still love you. Okay? All right. So yeah, I do. I wish you all the best in like anything I could do to help you. If you're stuck, let me know. All I could do is maybe on YouTube reply to comments. Not to go on YouTube, but tangent, but it feels like YouTube is canceling me. So personally, I don't care. I'm kind of glad to be back to Twitch because you guys are showing the love way more than and I love my followers on YouTube. I do, guys. Don't get me wrong on YouTube, okay? Like, you guys are the reals, the ones that have been staying sub to the channel. You guys are the reals, okay? It's everybody else but you. Okay? So, but yeah, keep killing it over here on Twitchland, right? I don't know, it's just not feeling the love there over on YouTube. That's all. That's okay. I could deal. Okay? It's called Tough Skin and Water Off a Duck's Back. Let's go. I've got so much more to do, so much to share. I'm doing this series, guys, and also I'm getting into doing sharing OpenGL videos. For me, I'm a quick learner. I'm a fast learner. I've done SFML in the past too, so that kind of helped me jump right into OpenGL with no problems. Right? You need the C++ coding language understanding and theory. That helps, right? You're not really doing a lot of C++ statements, a lot of methods, but we'll talk about that in those videos. So I appreciate you watching my OpenGL content. May even do a series on that. I know there's other stuff, and other people's out there doing this sort of thing. But yeah, I'm gonna do it as well. Okay, there we go. That's my motivation for you guys and gals. I know this is a little bit of a long intro. I do apologize. I am trying to shorten my intros. I really am. If obviously if it's live, you can't slide forward, obviously. But if it's not live, you could just slide the play bar forward, wherever, however far you need to go. With YouTube, I'll try to put a link in the comment below, so like a quick link, kind of right where I'm guessing where the content kind of starts. And if you want to just get right into learning, hey man, by all means, you can. You don't have to sit here listening to me going on and on and on and on, which I tend to do. I am trying to shorten them, I really am. I'm slowly getting better at it, but I also wanted to do this kind of motivation, right? Keep you guys motivated, right? You kind of get to a point, and I want you guys to stay focused, stay on track. Again, we all support you here, every single one of us learning. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be bumps in the road, okay? It's just how you handle them bumps. Buy some shocks! All right. Hopefully everything's good up on the stream. My mic is going well on Streamlabs, so that's great. Good to see. That would really kind of suck and be a huge bummer. I feel like I get trolled by settings every once in a while. I gotta constantly check my settings before I stream because it's like somehow magically they just change on their own. Like, how's that even possible? But yeah, it's just another thing that frustrates me in life, but I try not to let it bother me for too long. I just kind of shake it off and keep going, you know? All right, last motivation quote in chat. Again, it's great to have you guys and gals. Appreciate you. I am going to close this document because that's enough seeing that. There we go. Okay, yeah, it's just one less distraction. Okay, be gone. All right, this is for you guys and gals, supporters, followers, lurkers and twerkers, sandwich making workers. You know, I love them sandwich making workers. They make good sandwiches. They really do. All right. Much love, followers, supporters, lurkers and twerkers, those that hit the play button. Johnny Whiskey Tango Sharp Coding, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Okay, I think it's time. It must be time. It must be time. Time to learn. Flick that old switch in the brainium cranium. Let's throw on our thinking caps and leave the dunce caps to the ones that always say, learning. Yeah, don't be that guy. There's always something to learn. It doesn't have to be this, guys and gals. You can learn whatever you want to learn, whatever your interests are, okay? Follow your interests. Let's go. Okay. We are going to continue now. I know this is titled Switch Statements. We had one more loop to do, but it's kind of going back to that Fibonacci stuff. And I didn't want to break your guys' brains with this, but I might do it. I don't know. Just stay focused, right? It's just one of these things. I'll show you this content. You could use it or not. It doesn't hurt to see it and just see the code. Whether you utilize it in your own code or not, that's up to you. These are just examples, and plus it's showing you kind of how to write statements in the sense. So you could look at it, you could appreciate it, you could ignore it, you could take it, you could use it, keep it, do whatever you want. Just another tool in your tool chest, right? Okay, clean things up here. Last we're working on, yeah, this was kind of cool, right? We'll run it. And how many rows? This is a good little program. So you could just spam out, I don't know, whatever you want, really, which is kind of cool. Just go, let's do a lot. What letter should we use today? H? There we go. I could have went wild with the columns. I could have went right across the whole thing. But cool little program. I like that. It's neat. You'll have to see that, check that out last stream if you want. Hopefully you're following along. Anything else here that I gotta clean up? I think we're okay. I think we are okay. Blah, bah, bah, bah. Okay, alright. Alright, good, perfect. Right, I need to update this and show the love to the recent follower. Let's go. I gotta try to stay focused on this. I appreciate every single one of you that follow the channel. You guys know I do. Let's go. Awesome. Stream is good. Finally just checking that out. I'm my own mod here, so obviously I have to make sure. So that's good. All that talking that I was doing was, meant something. This is kind of a wild, long name. I love it. I don't know if you changed it recently. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I love it. It's pretty cool. There we go. Control Home, Shift S. Let's build it and run it. Turn it up. Turn it up. Let's go. Welcome to the channel. The Absent Present Person. I love it. That's such a cool, neat name. Very, very intuitive. Very intuitive. I like it. Unique and intuitive. You are a beautiful, intelligent, intuitive individual. Also, every single one of you guys and gals, the same. Turn it up. Okay, let's continue. I must hurry it up because we are getting to the end of this section. And let's get done with it. Let's be done with it. Okay, time to grind some code. Okay, that. I was thinking of going back and maybe would it be probably quicker if I just copy and pasted it. But, yeah, let's just move forward. Maybe I'll come back to that after. Just kind of a reminder of little weird stuff that you could do in your code, which isn't common, but it's something you can do. I'll show you. Just stay tuned. All right, let's begin with, okay, they're using these unique, again, we're following a course outline here, guys and gals. That's what we're doing. They use a lot of the other data types that you learn as you're learning coding. The most common ones you're going to see or come across are int. It's very common to see that in code. I don't know if it's a lazy thing or what. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. But for the most part, people just use int, right? But if you want to kind of control your memory usage, you can use the other data types. All right. Again, if it's your program, if you're doing this at home, that's all your decisions and your choice. Okay. Again, if you're working with a company, you kind of have to comply with what they want. if you want to get the old paycheck. So, but anyways, get the experience and then you can kind of move on your own, right? Anyways, I'm not suggesting for you to quit your job, okay? If you like your job, stay. All right. What? Okay. Unsigned int. Okay, interesting. Answer. That's cool. They're finally using an unsigned. Okay, remember what an unsigned is? I can't even type answer, guys. Answer. And they also have, I'll just two-line it instead of being lazy. And then we'll go like this. And like this. And I'm kind of being lazy, but we're just gonna do that. And we're gonna use position. All right. Bring this up quickly, just to kind of bring it up, right? Unsigned int. A lot of you have already seen this, so remember it's a signed thing, right? If it says unsigned, just, I don't know how you'd organize it in your mind. Just remember it's all positive numbers, right? Unsigned means no negative, right? Signed means negative. If you could kind of logically save that in your own mind, right? In the library up in your head, right? Little things to remember. There's always little tricks you could do to kind of help you remember stuff. However, how you approach that is up to you, right? There's always ways. A lot of people use mnemonic devices to remember stuff, like Roy G. Biv, for example. Let's say you're doing physics and you're in, I don't know, it's all refraction and all those sort of things of light, and you're doing those kind of calculations. Anyways, there's always some way. Okay. Let's keep going. We must keep going. All right, so we're going to standard C out. I need to move this. That's bothering me. It's underneath my arms for typing. It's just some paper, some notes. All right, we are doing what? Which position? Prompting the user. Well, I really can't type. Position. Which position? Yeah, I don't know. This we're just gonna do it, but it kind of breaks my brain a little bit what they're doing. But let's see. Let's just do the code. Find out. Okay, I haven't ran this code, guys. Like I've done enough code. I've done enough writing code that I could just jump in and write code that I have never written before with no worries. Okay, I will get it. Sometimes I do stumble, right? But I figure it out in usually about 5 or 10 minutes, right? That's the kind of employee you want, companies. The one that figures it out in 5, that they can figure it out in 5 or 10 minutes. They didn't waste a whole 8 hours of your, day, and then they come back the next day and still can't figure it out. I love errors. That's how ye learns. That's how ye gets better. Okay, end line. And answer equals. Answer equals. Not plus equals. Equals. We haven't even done the I'm just gonna call it foo because I can. We have to create the excuse me, guys, itchy throat. We have to create the method still. I guess I'll put it right here. Unsigned int. Okay, this is a int type function we're creating. Okay, not neat, guys and gals. You can do that too, as well. Quite interesting. Okay. It takes in also an unsigned int. We just created that variable above locally in the main. We're just going to call it n, okay? I'm kind of copying it verbatim, but that's okay. Minus, what? Okay. Oh, we're just doing some local, okay, this is interesting. Okay, I could actually just on the fly describe what they're doing here, guys and gals. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. It's called experience. All right. Oh, it's a comma separator. Silly me. We're doing it in line. I should probably, let me just do that. They're doing it in line, but it's kind of I don't know, it's frowned upon. -2, -1, and then the answer. What? Okay. Let's just see. -2 equals 1, -1 also equals 1, and answer equals 2. What is up? What is up? I'm not sure what they're doing with this code here, but we'll find out. Okay, so these are local variables inside. They're local to the function itself, all right? I have to kind of reset my brain here. I've been working on OpenGL, so it's like getting back into C++, right? So feels like a Monday, but it's not. Okay, where am I here? All right, so we've just initialized and declared some local variables that are only local to this function. Okay, once they get to here, they are out of scope. All right, destroyed, off in memory. Off ye goes, off into yonder, somewhere yonder. I don't know where yonder. We're not doing arrays, Bob. What are you doing? It's not even how you do arrays. Okay, if n is less than 3, okay. Smiley face, cringe face, no, happy face. Return just a 1. Okay, all right. And then we're going to do a for loop inside. And it's going to be, okay, so n minus equals 3. All right. We've declared n here, right? Okay, so that's where the declaring part is happening, right here. That's why we could just go straight to n minus equals 3. You should know, if you've been following along, you know exactly what that means. And then we're going to go minus n. Okay, this is decrementing. You're going to see decrementing for the first time. Now, they're swapping here. -2, okay. They have a breakdown of their code I could read. Instead of me kind of just butcher analyzing it with my own logic. Let's use some good theory words. I can understand. I'm the one that I can understand. Now explaining, I try. Sometimes I'm not the best at explaining, but I do try. And then we're adding them together. Okay. All right, a little bit going on. And then, of course, it's a return type, right? Any int, double, float, bool, they're all return types. So that means you must type the words return. And we're going to return answer. Okay, always. Anything after, you can type, and you're just wasting your time typing. And nothing else gets past return. That's it. Okay? So don't make those silly mistakes. We do have to do our prototype. Okay. Did it recommend? Was it recommending static? Not that we need it static. Usually, I'm getting into the habit of putting my statics into its own class. or it's into its own header. Is it return? Yeah, static. Thought so. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. It's not really necessary, but whatever. For what we're doing, it's just gonna get deleted. But now that should be gone. Sometimes you can make the decision on accepting what the program is suggesting. What are you doing, Bob? What are you doing, Bob? Did I do what? Oh, I know what it is. I can see right there, right? So I scrolled down, and I'm like, because I know just from grinding enough code, this would disappear. It would be gone. But it's still there, right? So that's not normal, right? So I'm like, automatically in my brain, I'm like, okay, something's wrong, right? That's the nice thing about Visual Studio. Now, I don't know which IDE that you guys are using. In the first 5 videos of this series, I put some recommendations of different IDEs you could use. I guess if you're at this point, you've already got one, obviously. But there's code blocks. I'll recommend them, like JetBrains, code blocks. There's also Studio Code, Microsoft Studio Code. I think that's what it's called. You'll see people using that as well. I'm pretty much a Visual Studio community version fanboy, so that's what I'm using. But anyways, this program or ID is great. I can tell right here, if you see that your methods, actually these are functions, are ghosted. They kind of look sickly, right? It's just letting you know that something is wrong above it, right? So that's kind of what that means. Okay, I know these were fine just a moment ago. Okay, but I could tell it's telling me, hey, right here you got something missing. And all it is syntax, guys and gals. That's all it is. Little things. So I forgot my syntax. There we go. Healthy again. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm always happy when my statements are healthy. There we go. That's gone as well. Okay, I'm going to build it. We haven't, 0 arguments. I know exactly what that means because we got to pass in, right? So we have to pass in. Well, we're going to be passing in our position, right? Let me just have a look at the code here. Let's look at the code. We're passing in. What are we passing in? So hang on. Let's first make sure we didn't mess the code up in our function itself. Unsigned int fib foo, unsigned int n. Where am I here? The position is what we're passing in. Okay, we're passing in the position. Which should tell me right here. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do that part yet, but yeah, we're going to be passing in the position. Okay. And so that means we're passing in the position. All right, there we go. That should get rid of that problem. All right, hopefully -1 undeclared. Okay, we've done something in our what? Did I type things incorrectly? What do you mean? What are you talking about, Bob? What are you talking about? 125. Oh, that's because I don't know how to type, guys. That's why. It's just me not knowing how to type. I don't know how to type still, apparently. 127. Yeah. Wow, gooder. Real gooder typing skills. All right, nurse, come help me type. Bring me a coffee while you're at it. I'm not being disrespectful. I love you, nurse. I just need a coffee, IV. 60. What? Oh, God, I'm really not awake today. I'm half asleep. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's a CN. Not a C out. All right, little things. That's all it is. Little things. Okay, so far so good, but I just want to make sure, certain that I haven't messed things up here. Okay, so declaring -2, they got equals 1, -1 equals 1. Answer equals 2. Interesting. Again, this answer is local, so it won't be seen up here, right? It's different to this, right? That's why you can write the exact same variable name. You got to just recall, you just have to have an understanding. Local is local. This is local. Answer is local to the method, okay? It's not, it can't be seen outside of its own scope. All right, and then if n is less than 3, return 1, okay? For n minus equals 3, that's, and then n is not equal to 0, minus n, and then they're doing some swapping, it looks like. -1 equals 2, -2, and then answer is being swapped to -1, and then answer equals -1 plus -2. Okay, and then return answer. Okay, I know I'm taking a little long in this. Okay, you guys could try this out whether you like it or not. It's up to you. Why am I doing all of my stuff up here? There we go. We're not using stack allocated objects right now, so just ignore that, guys and gals. And today, no thoughts for today, but we are doing, I keep forgetting to update this. Eventually, we're getting into this, which I need to get into. I just need to hurry it up. All right, there we go. That's what we're getting into. I wish this was done last stream. I should have just did it last stream, but that's okay. All right. So, and then in the main, we need to make sure we're finished up in the main here. Okay, we're passing in whatever user, we're prompting the user, whatever value the user enters in the console gets passed into position. And then we pass, well, it doesn't get passed in, it's getting stored into position. And then we pass position into our method, actually function. And we're passing, this is all right hand side still, and we're passing all that into answer, so our left hand side. And then now we need to display that to the console or to the user. They need to see, right, the answer. Okay, so all right, we'll just do it the way they have it. Is the, and then going like this and just trying to save a few milliseconds, and then position, whatever the position is. Okay, position is the value the user enters, right? So like this, and Fibonacci. You should have an idea what Fibonacci sequence is, even though we're kind of doing things not really I don't know, it's not the same what you expect for a result. Okay, and then we return that. Okay, there we go. Let's just get this done. Okay. What am I doing now? Right here. Why am I not typing those today, guys? Why am I not typing them today? I'm not using my operators. They are called the, let me see if I can find them. There is a name for them. Part of the O stream, output stream. They're overloaded operators. However, they overload them in the code behind. Again, you can peek those definitions if you want to know, if you want to research the code on that, how they do it. Eventually, we're going to get into like some cool stuff you can do with overloading. You could overload the plus equals. Yeah, it's just some good stuff you could do. There's so much, guys and gals. Okay, there's so much. This is all going to take time. You know, I kind of have an issue with people that think that they always want things now to happen now. It's not going to. This is a long time event. Okay, the only way to get better is to grind, and you're going to have to put in a lot of time. Okay, time is what you're going to need to be able to excel in this. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to twinkle your nose and start writing 5,000 statement programs and releasing it to the public. Just not happening. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to encourage you and get you to realize, you know, this is a long-term. It's a long-term endeavor. Okay, it's kind of like taking your canoe and trying to go across the Pacific. Okay, that's gonna take time. All right, let me just find my operator. Here we go. I found it finally. All right. Stream insertion operator. That's what they're called. And then the other one is called extraction. Okay, for C in. C out, C in. Okay. Let's run this. Recall last time what we were doing. The code's different compared to the last one we were doing, guys. Okay, I know you want me to run it, but if I was going to let's see, that I'm just kind of going back in the lesson here, course outline, and looking at what they had. Right, we're figuring out. We entered 8, if I recall. Oh no, we entered the number 6, and then it said 8 is the 6th Fibonacci number. Okay, and it did all of its that was during the recursion. Okay, I know recursion can break the brain a little bit. Okay, but don't let it discourage you. It's okay. Just keep trudging on. All right, so they're asking which position, all right? So whatever position means. So 3 is the 4th Fibonacci number. Now, let's bring up a quick examples, right? What is... No, I don't need that. What is... Fibonacci sequence? Okay, just so we have an example here. All right. Okay, I'll just bring this up. Okay, you can just see this. Get more help with the toughest homework problems. Trig is easy for me, bro. I don't need help with trig. I could teach trig. It's like so basic. Anyways, the Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the 2 preceding numbers. Even this is just basic, right? If you think about it. All we're doing is going 1 plus 1. We all can count and add, right? 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then we take that 2 and we add it to 1, which gives us 3. And then we take that 3 and then add it to 2, which gives us 5. And then we take that 5 and we add it to 3, which gives us 8. And so on and so on. You can see the pattern, right? And then we take that 8 and we add it to 5 and it gives us 13. So what they're saying is 3 is the 4th Fibonacci number. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how they figure that out. Position 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. They must not be counting 0. That's my guess. That's my only interpolation into what they're doing here. So kind of like counting by binary or computer counting. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, let's computer counting. That's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. See the bells and the whistles and the lights went off in my head? I could figure things out on my own. I don't need my handheld. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Count by computer counting, starting from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that makes sense. 3 is the 4th Fibonacci number. Okay, I'm going to close that. Let's run it again. Which is position 5. Okay. All right. If this isn't live, and you could actually just scroll backwards to see and count, see if 5 is actually the 5th. Right? I don't have it in front of me, but you could check. And let's do 20. Woos. I mean, I wouldn't expect you can't check that one. But you could add it up if you wanted to. But there you go. Okay, now you know. So this is actually giving us the actual results, right? If we actually added everything together. So that's pretty slick. I thought I would share that. What's 100? Remember, it has to be an int, right? Because we're getting into some pretty large numbers, right? And that's the correct answer. Let's go. Let's go. It's kind of neat how they do that in code to make it work. I will maybe I'll read what they're doing here. But first, let's do this. That's why you need an int, unsigned int, right? Everything's positive, so it makes sense to use an unsigned int. They've chosen the correct data type. If you look at unsigned int, it takes us up to, like, you get twice as much, right? You're taking everything that's in the negative and you're shuffling it forward to 0. This is 0. So we're adding all of this to this, which gives us this. Okay, so you have to know your max number, your range, right? This is the range. You must know your range, right? That's the other. Not only do you choose your data types, but you also have to be within that range. Otherwise, you're going to be looping. Is that what it's called again? I can't remember what they called it. I want to use the actual, what do they call that? Wrapping. That's the word, wrapping. You would be wrapping is what would happen. You would wrap back to 0, essentially. Okay, so you do have to be aware of those things. So you won't know until you see your return or your output, right? Plus, you should do some maybe quick calculating just to see and get a general idea what your output or max values are going to be, right? Depends on what you're doing in your program. I don't know what you're creating. Again, these are all tools in your line coding tool chest. Whether you use them or not is up to you. You're not going to use everything, guys and gals, but you will use for loops a lot. So you might as well get used to learning for loops. And this is all part of the learning. Okay, we're gonna move forward. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me just run it again. I'll just go 25. I'll just do a random number. Okay, that's cool. There's the program if you want to know what number it is, right? Remember, it's counting from 0. I had to kind of slow down because I was trying to figure that out before. How did they figure that out, right? Makes sense now. Start counting from 0. Okay, this solves the Fibonacci series using iteration rather than recursion. I like it actually. Iterating is actually, and there's swapping and stuff going on as well. Again, they're not using a temp in that case either. Well, I guess answer could be the temp, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of, sort of. Not really. Anyways, it still works. They are doing swapping though. They're passing. I call it leapfrogging. You could kind of do that. This approach is faster and uses less memory than the recursive solution. Cool, right? Because remember, you have to recall that recursive function again, right? Now, would it be quicker if you used inline? I don't know. Would that break the bank? I don't know. I've never tested that. On line 11, the user is asked for the position to check. The function foo is called, which evaluates the position. If the position is less than 3, the function returns the value 1. Right? So it should do that, I guess. Is that right? Let's put 3. Gave us 2. I don't know, interesting. What? 2 is 1, obviously. So if n is in case you want to see this code too, right? That's the actual method doing all the work, okay? Function, sorry. I guess you start getting a habit into calling it method all the time. That's why you hear method a lot. Right? But in this case, we don't have a class, so it is a function. Okay. If the position is less than 3, the function returns the value. Starting with position 3, the function iterates using the following algorithm. Run this. Let's run 26. Okay. You're gonna have to. That's a lot of adding you would have to do. It's a lot of work, right? That's why writing code is so much better. You can get your answer so much quicker than doing it all by hand. I do things like I create. I'm planning on eventually sharing, but I do matrices programs, anything mathematical. I do programs for vectors, mathematical vectors, programs for like matrices, quadratic formulas, because I love math and I understand it. And I turn that mathematical knowledge into code and create programs that actually would be useful. Not to go on a tangent, wish it was more popular to the general public, but it doesn't seem to be. Kardashians seem to be more important, which is pretty pathetic. Whoops, did I say that? Sorry guys, my inside voice came out. It's my bad. I didn't mean for it. I didn't mean for that to happen. It was just a slip up. Okay, I'm allowed mistakes. Yes. That is a yays. Okay, carrying on. Just kind of, we're breaking down the code, analyzing it here, and then we're going to get into switches. I do apologize, that I'm doing this right now. But, it's cool, right? So establish the starting position, fill variable answer with 2, -2 with 1, and -1 with 1. Decrement the position by 3 because the first 2 numbers are handled by the starting position, okay? For every number, count up the Fibonacci series. This is done by putting the value currently in -1 into -2. That's the swapping part. Putting the value currently in answer into -1, adding -1 and -2, and putting the sum into the answer, right? This is taking the addition. Again, the program line by line is going to use the values, the most current value in memory, right? Variables change all the time. They're always changing. Depends on your code, but in this case, they're definitely changing. Okay, leapfrogging, we're changing values by leapfrogging. Line by line, the program is going to use the most current values stored in a memory. It'll add those together and then restore it back into answer. And then decrementing n. Okay, when n reaches 0, return the answer. Okay, right? This is the stop. Okay, it's going to keep going while n is not equal to 0. That's why it's written like that. This is exactly how you would solve this problem with pencil and paper. If you were asked for the 5th Fibonacci number, you would write 1, 1, 2. They didn't write 0, so that makes sense, right? So it depends. It's all kind of how you look at it, right? In my case, I wrote the 0 because the first addition is 0 plus 1, technically, right? But they didn't write the 0 that way. That's why their math works out. It's however you approach it. If you ignore 0, you can count it normally. Okay, and think 2 more to do. You would then add 2 plus 3 and write 3 and think 1 more to find. Finally, you'll write 3 plus 2 and the answer would be 5. In effect, you are shifting your attention right one number each time through and decrementing the number remaining to be found. Note the condition tested on right here. Many C++ programmers, CPP programmers, use the following syntax. They'll write n minus 3 equals, and then they'll go n. Whoops. Recall from last stream, and then they'll go minus minus n. If you're following the last stream where you've seen this sort of stuff, right, you'll know what that is. I was thinking of doing an example and refreshing your guys' memories on that. I just recommend check the last video. I'm already taking too long doing this, and we need to keep moving forward. Okay? What? Yeah, there we go. Okay? Don't break it. Okay, be careful. I went undo too far. All right, and there we go. Okay, you can see that instead of using a relational condition, just the value of n is used for the condition in the for statement. This is a C++ idiom, IDIOM, and n is considered equivalent to n not equal to 0. Using just n relies on the fact that when n reaches 0, it will evaluate false, which is true, because 0 has been considered as false in C++, right? Remember that, right? When something is 0. Okay? Any number is true other than 0. Okay? Remember that. And that's including negatives. Negative numbers will give you a true. So if I'm just going to go like this quickly. We're not going to create an if statement, but I could go if -1, that's still going to be true. Okay? The only time it's ever false is a 0. That's the only condition. Because 0 has been considered as false. In keeping with the current C++ standards, it is better to rely on a condition to evaluate the value of false than to use a numeric value. Okay? So this is a condition, right? I could just put 0 or whatever, but yeah, that's kind of what they're getting at, right? To use a condition. These are all test conditions, every single one of them. You need all 3 of them to make things happen in a for loop. Well, you don't need to, obviously, but that's common to see this. Okay? The common way to write for loops. It's very consistent, guys. Once you get the idea, it's just the same thing over and over again. Variables could be, I could use I, right? It doesn't matter. Okay? I could use I, but remember, I'm declaring it up here, right? We're passing I in. This is where the user is actually passing in that value. Normally we would declare it right here, but here it's being declared. Okay, that is the right declaration, correct. Okay, makes sense? We're declaring it up inside here. This is our parameter, right? We're declaring it inside our parameter. Okay, compile link and run this program along with the recursive solution offered, right? You remember that. Anyways, we're gonna move forward. Okay? Be careful how large a number you enter. Fib grows quickly, and even unsigned long integers will overflow after a while, right? I already explained that even before they even said it, right? Remember, wrapping, guys and gals, the section on wrapping, like the clock. Remember the clock? If you've been following the series, you'll know what I mean. All right? Oh, it's going to error here. That's my prototype. I've got to get rid of the prototype as well. All right. Okay, cool. Let's move forward. Okay, this video's titled Switch Statements, and that's what we need to get into now. Controlling flow with switch statements. You've obviously learned, right? I've showed to you guys and gals if statements, if else statements. In lieu of using a whole bunch of here, we could go wild with the if statements. Okay, you really can, and you can even nest them as well, which is even like you could really go crazy with it. Okay, else ifs also have a test condition, right? And we could literally go crazy with the else ifs. We could go on and on and on. Like I could just do. Like, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Like, I could literally go wild with it. Okay? And then you don't necessarily need to end with an else, but you can if you want to. Okay? So in lieu of doing that, there's another way of doing this. Okay? Just trying to, yeah, I think it was that size. I get used to a certain size, but I think that's what it is. You guys, I know I watch my videos, you guys can read that. The colors are bright, they're popping. I think it went with a good theme. So, again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I truly do. Right? So these can become quite confusing, especially if you're nesting, right? Like again, I could go if, and you could do this. There's not anything saying that you can't, right? But you could also nest if else's, right? Or you could just nest another if, right? And then inside that could be an if else. Okay? Again, it just depends on what you're doing, right? So, again, when you're doing this kind of nesting, always use curly brackets. Always. Always. Okay? Things will break if you don't. The program just gets to a point, it starts asking you, it's like, which one do you want me to use, Bob? Right? It gets to that point. Okay, unlike if, which evaluates one value, switch statements can enable you to branch on any several values. The general form of the expression is, here, I'll just kind of copy and paste this, just so that, alright, that's the form, okay? This is the form of it. Normally this is kind of like this. Whoops, okay. Right, and then there's a default one that you can have as well. If neither of these get utilized, then it utilizes the default. We'll do an example, but this is the general layout. Okay. All right, that's the general layout, if you want to call it that. General layout of a switch statement. Okay. And again, you can have more cases, right? So cases could either be numerical or variable. Okay, it just kind of depends on what you're doing. Depends on your program and what variables, and if you're using numbers or are you using variables. Just depends. Okay, let's see. The general form of the switch statement is expression is any legal C++ expression. That kind of broke my brain a little bit, but expression would be inside here, right? A lot of times you could be if, I don't know, it could be a bool, right? Just depends. And the statements are any legal C++ statements or block of statements that evaluate or can be unambiguously converted to an integer value. Okay, note, however, that the evaluation is for equality only. Relational operators cannot be used here, nor can Boolean operations. When I mentioned bool, you would have a bool outside or above, right? It would either be a 0 or a 1. So if true, right, it might go into this. It just, I don't know, there's different ways. It just depends on the application, okay? We'll leave it at that. If one of the case values matches the expression, program execution jumps to those statements and conditions to the end of the switch block unless a break statement is encountered. Okay, we talked about continuing break, and with switch statements, you must use break. Okay, I could actually create some separation here, right, just so you can kind of see it. A lot of times you'll see the break actually, and I'll do it inline. That works as well. Okay, instead of doing that, just do this. Okay, it depends on the layout you want. Okay, but this works as well. You don't need a break with a default. Okay, just your cases have breaks. Okay, we could go on and on and on. You could have like, let's say, months. You could have 12 cases. It just depends. I've seen switches used where each month has so many days, and of course it's going to use the case depending on the number of days, right? We have to do an example is what we need to do. In one of the case values matches the expression, program execution jumps to those statements and continues to the end of the switch block unless a break statement is encountered, right? So it only goes into it if it's kind of that value, right? Otherwise, the rest are just ignored. If it doesn't go into any of these cases, it'll just utilize the default. If nothing matches, execution branches to the optional default statement. If no default and no matching case value exists, execution falls through the switch statement and the statement ends. Okay, so sometimes you won't even see a default, right? So it says it'll just fall through. It is almost always a good idea to have a default case in switch statements, okay? Take note of that. If you have no other need for the default, use it to test for the supposedly impossible case and print out an error message. This can be a tremendous aid in debugging, right? It could be just a return an error message or something, right? It is important to note that if no break statement is at the end of a case statement, execution falls through to the next case statement. Right? This is kind of like the stop, the period, right? It breaks out. Remember how it works? It breaks out, right? If there's no break, it's going to go into the next case. Okay, and that's not what you want it to do, right? The next case could be the wrong answer, right? So every case must have a break. Every case must have a break. Just lets the program know that's it. Jump out of this and you're done with switches. But usually is, let's see, false. Okay, this is sometimes necessary. Okay, oh yeah, right. Just depends. We'll do an example here. You got to see an example. Okay, so they do say falls through, but sometimes like both of these actually might. It just depends on what you're writing, right? It's hard to explain it verbally without example, right? Maybe both of these cases are the same thing, right? Maybe this is, I don't know, I'm guessing. February is what, 28? What months are 30 days? Okay, maybe this is a 30-day month. Maybe this is a 30-day month. So in that case, it's going to fall through this one and go to this one. You're still going to get the right answer. Okay, let's say this is January, February month, right? Okay, I'm going to stop on that. We need to do an example. That's what we need to do. If you decide to let execution fall through, and that's what that means is, right? You want it to fall through, right? That's when you don't use a break. But like I said earlier, every case has a break, right? Normally. I should have said that earlier. Sometimes you need them to fall through. It just depends on what you're doing. Be certain to put a comment indicating that you didn't just forget the break, right? So I guess you would just put no break, right? So that's what they mean. Right? Just put a comment after it, because that's letting other people that read your code know that they'll see that and go, okay, they want that. They're being explicit. Okay? All right, we're going to do an example. Let's do an example. Okay, enough talk. So we're going to create local variables, right, are way up here. I was putting my local variables in the wrong spot. Sorry, guys. Okay, short int. And number. Excuse me. Okay. Inside standard CO, let's just do one here so you can see it. It's better to see it than to talk about it. Okay, enter a number between goodness gracious, Sally on Sundays. Maybe I'm just so used to doing OpenGL. I'm not making excuses, but it's like, man, did I forget how to type C++? Okay, we're going to store that value. All right. Well, OpenGL, you're pretty much just pasting methods that are pre-built methods. They're all just built-in methods. And if you understand what each, you kind of have to have a general understanding of what each method does. But for the most part, you might not know all of them. Just follow the storyline, right? Order of operations with methods. Stay tuned if you want to see some of the OpenGL stuff. I recommend that you kind of get good at C++. Just learn one of the languages. Okay, get that done. And then you can worry about OpenGL. OpenGL is, because there's no GUI, okay, graphical user interface. Okay, you can do a lot of console applications. That's what we're doing here, is a console application. And it is a nice little window. It's a nice little pop-up box. It displays textual information. That's great. We can all read. Words are nice. But we also, as humans, like visuals, right? And that's where OpenGL comes in, okay? Where you can actually create visuals. All right? So, yeah, I recommend just get good at using console, creating console applications. I went on to doing WinForms, but then you have to learn C Sharp, okay? And again, I'll say the same thing. If you can learn C++ with ease, you can learn any other language. Gravy on your potatoes. I'm telling you, it's facts. C++ gives you more of a deeper understanding, but the theory and everything, you know, not to go on a tangent again, but I'm a believer that if you can learn this language, you can learn any language. That's my take. Okay, I'm not too worried about learning the other languages or any other language for that matter. Okay, so cases have a stop that. So used to writing colon, okay, or semicolon. That why are you not tabbing here? Okay, be gone. I'm busy. I don't care who you are. Unless you got some money, leave me alone. Okay? Tired of Bologna&Weiners. I want to eat beef Wellington. When's that ever gonna happen? Oh, okay. So we're creating a case 0. User is going to enter a number. This is a numerical entry, so whatever the user enters, we're passing it into our switch, and then the switch will pick whichever case. So if I pick case 0, it's really, really simple, guys. They're not that hard. Okay? And here I'm just returning. I'm returning contextuals, if that's the right number. Too small. Sorry. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it could be a guessing game, right? Apparently it wants it there. I don't know why. It's really odd. Let me just look at something here. Okay, we're fine. Okay, so yeah, don't forget break. I'm just gonna leave it. I guess it keeps doing that, so I'm just gonna ignore it. And these are kind of wild. It might break the brain a little bit, but you don't even have to have them in order. So we're gonna go highest to lowest. Again, it's whatever number's entered, it's gonna pick that case. The order inside the switch doesn't matter. Good job. I don't know. This is the reason why. Because we want it to fall through. This is why. Okay? We're actually deliberately wanting it to fall through. Wanting it to fall through. So what that means is go to the next line. Okay? And we're going to pick 4. And 4 says nice pick. It's just whatever. This is whatever you want, right? You can put whatever you want, guys and gals. Okay? You're the creator of the program. You're the designer. However you create your program, if you decide to use switch statements, whatever you type, that's on you. I don't mean to say it that way, but it's your design, right? Depends on what results or outcome you want. Okay, the world's your oyster, right? Once you learn everything, then make sure you change your case numbers. But once you learn everything, then you can kind of just create yourself. You're the creator, right? Incredible. And in this case, these ones have breaks. So we're falling through from 5, 4, 3, 2. And I'll just separate it. And this time we're going to actually break. No fall throughs. Okay? And then we're going to have a default. Okay? So default is just, you actually have to type default. I could actually tab, you can see it right here in the drop down list. Colon, remember it's a colon. And default could be too large, right? Let's go like this. Remember, don't have a break. I was kind of being lazy, so too large. A little bit lazy with my typing. Okay. Oh, there is a break? Don't need a break with defaults. Should still work, but we can test it just so you can see. And then I don't know why it's doing that. It's really strange. I like it tabbed in. So, just easier to read. And then we can standard CO and end line, which is what I have here. I could just copy that, and there we go. Okay, pretty simple. That's it, guys and gals. That's it to the code. Again, whatever application you're creating, you could go as long as you want. Maybe you're making a card game. Maybe you might have 52 cases. I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. Right? I just recommend doing testing, trying different things, and that's how you learn and that's how you get better. Right? Practice. Practice makes perfect. It's not just a saying. It's facts. Okay. So the first one is a break. Case 5 is a fall through. Case 4 is a fall through. And I can't type wanting. Sorry, guys, gals. I know those of you that, you might be OCD a little. And that's okay. That's a superpower. I'll fix it. I can spell, guys and gals. I can. I just can't type. All right. Good job. Nice pick. Excellent. Masterful. Let's semicolon that. We don't really need a space, but whatever's. And then incredible has a break. Here they have a break in defaults. Okay, so here let's test. Okay, the fall throughs. What? Why are you being like that? The what? The what? Unanid. What? It actually says it fall through there. I don't normally do fall throughs. For me, I like breaks, but you can fall through with switches. Okay, so they're saying, okay, enter the number 3. Okay, all right, there we go. So what it does is it falls through because there's no break. A break is like a I'm out of here sort of thing, right? It's like I'm out of here, right? So it actually printed excellent, masterful, and incredible. We said 3, so it's going to go 5, 4, 3. Is that right? Let me see that again. Let's look at it this way. So it printed 3, just so we have an understanding. It printed 2, and then it also printed incredible, and then that's when the break happened. So it went 3, 2, 1. All right. I don't know why I'm getting these little search. It's running still. It's a C. Normally it's a 4-digit error code. I really don't care. What are they saying? Int and 1? That's interesting. Again, you're safe if you go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, go downwards. Fall throughs are kind of like one of those weird things. Okay. need to move forward on this. Let's see. Switch statement allows for branching on multiple values. I don't mean to throw you guys off on switch statements. Kind of a bad starting example. I should have found something that's just basic and normal. Okay, do I have one? I probably do, but I don't want to spend a lot of time or waste a lot of time looking, because I feel like I'm already wasting enough of your guys' time, and I do apologize. Okay, choice. Okay, let's do, okay, these are all going to be the same thing as well. It's no different. Right? I don't know if I like these fall through types, right? Using a switch statement with a menu. Okay, do they have breaks on all of them? Good, they do. Let's do that, because yeah, you guys probably don't like the fall throughs either. I'm not a fan of them myself either. Okay, too many problems. It'll work. I think it'll work if you go like in order from lowest to highest, right? From lowest to highest going down, I think. But I want to do this next problem instead of wasting time trying to analyze and solve that. If you guys want to try that on your own, arrange the numbers, see if it works. Again, you do have those little links that it'll take you to a Microsoft website. They are helpful for the most part. The examples, you kind of have to analyze their examples. You do. So, you know, there's a little bit of thinking involved, which is fine. I don't mind trying to analyze somebody's code. It helps you learn. Okay, are we using colon, semicolon, and a for loop again? These loops are also called forever loops, right? Okay, so just as a reminder, where do I put that? Right here. Okay, and I'm just gonna go like that because for loops always have that, and they're called forever loops. Okay, also known as forever loops, as they will loop forever if a break is not encountered, right? You got to be careful of that, guys. You have to put a stop. You must have a stop, an end to your for loops. Solicit a choice from the user, act on the choice. I don't see, it's not so bad getting a user to enter a value, right? That's what kind of gets you, that helps you get into the switch statement. All right, so let's just start typing code. They have a do task, so let's do that. We got to create a couple of methods by the looks of it. Okay, this hopefully will be a better example. Okay, guys and gals, I have to give it a name. Sheesh. Get with the program, Bob. Okay. I'm at that point. I'm calling them all foos now. Okay. Task 1. Okay. And standard end line. All right. There's the first one. We're going to do another one. Real simple. Do task many. Let me just go like this. Okay, there we go. Do task many foo. Okay, so if which, okay, this one actually takes in user entered value, which case, I guess I could call it, because it probably will help with the switch case, right? Like this is like a menu, it says, right? Menus are nice, if you have a game, you're most likely going to have a menu. I'm going to use that. Okay, and they have, I'm just going to copy this. Try to speed things up. Okay, task 2. You want to type the number 2. Else. You don't need, if it's just an if else, you don't need the curly brackets, but for myself, organization, just looking at it visually, you don't need them, okay? But it's only if you have a singular if and a singular else. It's the only time. All right. And what's up? Oh, okay. So inside, how's this gonna, what? Oh, that's the output. Okay. We still need to do the menu. Okay. Int menu. All right. We still have to do the menu as well, guys and gals. Yeah. Okay. So you're wondering, well, where's the menu? Okay. We still have to do that. I'm going to go like this just to kind of get rid of our errors here. Static, most likely, but is it saying static? Yeah, so I'll make them static, whatever. Okay, gonna go here. Gonna go like this. I'm just doing my prototypes. And static. Static. There we go. And there we go. Okay, I'm trying to speed things up here, guys, gals. Okay. And now let's do our menu. It's just an int. And it's called menu. Or we'll just call it, I don't know, user menu. Sure, whatever. Okay. And, or I could call it print or whatever. Case sensitivity, it's up to you. Okay, so inside the menu is gonna have its own local variable called choice, and we should initialize it. And then we're gonna have a bunch of standard coats. This is a like common, like you guys understand, right? You can set up your menus however you want. I'm just going to kind of copy what they have, try to speed things up. And then we need an end line. There we go. Okay, and here we go. Once you get one typed, then it's just a matter of, okay, so one. Sometimes you'll see, so there's a couple of ways of doing it. You could use just regular open brackets. Go choice 1. Or you could use square brackets. Okay, it's kind of your choice. All right, this is kind of like the user could clearly see the 1, and it'll, just looking at it, they'll be like, oh, I gotta press 1, right? The names of your menus, this could be like, I don't know, settings or I don't know, something. Could be anything. Again, this part is your choice. Toe, let's go. Let's pick toe, right? See, guys? It could be like going to the toe settings. You never know. We're almost there for time. Don to the wand. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's go. It says 0 now, but he's probably gone. Appreciate you, Don. It's tough grind. It's tough grind. Really is. Okay, number 3. Again, I don't know. If I was doing videos on the Kardashians, it would get more views, I imagine. So, as sad as that sounds. It is technological, intellectual stuff I'm doing here, so I don't expect everybody to show up. Redisplay menu. Okay. All right. And then we're going to have a quit as well. Not for everybody. I understand that. Right? And then now we got to store that. Right? We're displaying for the user. Hey, user. Wow, I'm just going to leave it as choyass because why not? Just because. I've already brutalized it. So, again, it's a return type. This one you can't mess up. There we go. I don't know. I'm off topic. Anyways. All right, there we go. Okay, this is a local variable. Local to the int. It is an int data type. Okay, or an int function, therefore it's a return type. That's what I meant to say. There we go. We're displaying our menu. Now the last thing I gotta do is create the prototype, and I'm gonna do it in order. Most likely it's a static. And, why do I always do that? And there we go. Okay, there we go. Our prototypes are done. I wonder if I could pass by reference. I'm curious. Should be able to pass by reference. All right, let's go. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. And there we go. Okay, builds. Oh, which is undeclared. Right. Where did I do which? Oh, what? Hold up. What's up? What? What do you mean, what's up? What do you mean undeclared? Did I? What? 122. Where did I type which? Oh, which case? That's what it is. Use the same words, guys and gals. Use the same words. Am I done with that one? If into task 2, else do that, right? That's it. That's it for that. Okay, that's all it was. I didn't match my variables, right? When you pass in, it has to be the same, right? Okay. Be gone, error, be gone. Okay, now to the menu. Main menu. Not main menu. To the main. What are we doing in the main? In the main, we got a bit going on as well. Okay, we've got our prototypes done. Now we're in the main. We're going to have a bool. Okay, finally using a bool, boys and girls. Just like I said, you could use bools too, right? So, where am I here? Exit, right? This makes sense. Okay, and we're going to initialize it to false. So basically, we initialized it to 0. And then they're using, okay, they are using an infinite for loop, guys and gals. Infinite, okay? All right? And that is using semicolon, semicolon, okay? Kind of looks funny, though. I know. All right. Choice. Same name? Sure. Doesn't matter, actually, because choice is equal to menu. Pretty awesome sauce. Oh, but make sure use the same variable name. Choice is the user. Remember, it's an int. It's going to return an int. An int is an int. We're passing an int, right? Therefore, we could pass a function into an int. Data type. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool? That's how it works. Okay. Remember, the return type is an int. Int, return an int. User passes in an int. Okay, as long as the user, you can really make sure that the user is typing in integers, right? There is ways, but we're just going to keep it simple, okay? Okay, switch, choice. And the choice, we're going to pass in the choice, right? So we're basically, we're going to print out the, we're going to display the menu. The user is going to enter a value. That value will be stored, will be returned. I imagine it's kind of floating in limbo. So we have to pass that number into this. That's what we're doing, guys and gals. We're taking that return. It's going to return a number, right? It's returning a number, whatever the user enters. And then we got to pass it in. And so this is a right-hand side passing into a left-hand side. That number is going to get passed into our switch. Okay, following along. This stuff I can explain except for that going backwards stuff. Sorry, I can't do that, but oh, interesting. Okay, go like this. I don't do a lot of these switches, but you guys, I mean, yeah, switch cases, but just so you know, right? You have, again, it's just another tool in your line coding chest, okay? I'm just gonna go like that, create some separation, and then we're gonna break. I'm gonna just putting everything in line, just to kind of keep it straightforward and simple. Okay, we can use brackets. Should hopefully work. Normally I don't see the brackets, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't normally use brackets. Usually I just write case 1. That's what I do. But we'll test it with the brackets. Okay, case 2. And case 2 is going to do the many task. Do many, which takes in also a value, right? Yeah. Okay, what are we passing in there? We're passing in the number 2. So we're just putting in the number 2, apparently, and then it's gonna break. Okay, and then we're gonna go like this, and this time we're gonna put in 3. We're kind of hard coding it here is what we're doing. Okay, we're hard coding a value into the method. Okay, they all have breaks. And case 4 is a continue break. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a redundant case is what they have. So I'll just go like this and continue, then break. Sure. I don't know why. Normally, I don't know, it's really odd to see them on the same line, but okay. Normally it's just like continue. But they have a comment here that says redundant. Okay. I need to finish up. And then case 5 is I need the break. Just gonna go like this. Case 5 is exit equals true. Exit equals true. Where's exit? Bool exit, right? Our bool. Where's our bool? Our bool is here. Yeah, exit. Okay. Exit equals true. Okay, we're changing it. We're switching it, right? Or I could go like this. I could also do this, guys and gals. If you want to be lazy typer like I am, you could just go like this and go like that. Instead of saying equals true, you could just switch it with a not, right? Exact same thing. So remember, I was explaining this last video, what you could do with the nots. Think of the not as like a switch. We switched it from being a equal to false to, by putting a not, we just made it true. Okay, it's a switch. Even though you don't read the word true, that's exactly the same thing. Am I done with all this code? No, we have a default we have to add in as well. Okay, default, standard, cout. Please select again. A little bit of protection, I guess. I don't know, you could kick them right out of the program if they really troll. Just boot them, give them a hard exit. Get kicked out of the program for being a troll. And then we could do this. Right, there we go. And switch. This is our switch, right? This belongs to our switch, but we're inside the for loop, right? And remember, the for loop is infinite, right? So it will continue. And let's see, break. Let me just make sure we're done with this. Okay, and switch. Okay, this is our protection right here. Okay. So default, that's fine. So here's our protection. If exit is equal to true, which I guess I could just copy this, do the exact same thing, right? It means the same thing, guys and gals, right? Then I could put the break inside here. Boom. Break. And then we still have our return 0 down here. So we're good. Okay, I think that's it. That's how you break out of it, right? To get out of our, because here, yeah, if exit is not equal to true, break default. Okay, all right, let's test it. Let's test it. Okay, let's test it. All right, building. And we gotta finish up. I can't pass okay. All right, that's fine. I thought I would be able to, but no passing by reference allowed. Right here. Okay. All right, that's fine. Pointer. I didn't really do a pointer, did I? That's okay. There we go. Clean up. We'll worry about that later. We're already over 2 hours here. I don't want to spend too much time fixing code here. Okay. All right, let's run it. Okay, task 1. Let's go 1. Let's use, so there's our menu, right? It's printing our menu. All right, cool. Task 1. And then it actually looped the menu again, if you noticed, right? 3. It returned task 3, just like we expected. I could actually clear the screen here too. Let's go 5, right? 5 should be quit, right? We're still looping. Why not? Okay, quitting. This program brings together a number of concepts. Why do you have to be like this, Bob? You should be exiting. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5. Why are you being like this, Bob? Oh, why am I doing this? Okay. I think this shouldn't honestly even matter, but I want to just try it. Okay, we should be breaking out of this. We should be quitting. There we go. Okay, that's what it was. My switching wasn't working. That's what it was. I actually wasn't being explicit with my switches, and I'm like it's kind of a dirt moment. So to explain is what I'm doing is comparing, right? Right? What I did here is false, right? Exit, it's always going to be false. That's why I kept doing that, right? I need to be explicit to make that change, right? And I'm not forcing the bool to become true, right? Okay? exit is true. I want it to be true. I'm not actually forcing it to be true. So I'm being kind of silly. There's a way in code where I could actually just switch it, and I don't have that. So there we go. It works. Okay, exited. Perfect. Okay. Need to finish up. Hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. Again, case 1 does task 1. It runs task 1 method. Task 2 runs task 2 method. Okay. Same thing with 3. Okay, we could have tested them all. I guess I could have. Right? I could go 3. Whoops. Try again. So now you know. It kicked me right out. Okay? Which, there's still things we could fix with this. It's not perfect, guys. 3. Task 3. It did task 3, right? Okay, and it quit too. Did a break. Why'd you break? Continued. Went straight to case 5. You went straight to case 5? What's up? Okay. Alright. 2, I feel like I'm wasting a C. It quit this time. Okay. Alright, maybe that's what we want. I thought we wanted the menu to keep looping. Right? Continue break. 4. Let's try it out. 4 continues. Okay. I could go on forever printing 4s, apparently. 5, it quits. No problem. Again, it's work in progress code, guys. It's not perfect, but it gives you an idea, right? And you can create a menu. You could create a method which actually switches your exit from, because that's how you make it work, right? I can't just, we have to tell the program, hey, make exit true, right? In this case, it's kind of like saying if exit equals true, break, right? Because I pressed 5, exit equals true. Essentially, I'm making, right here is where I'm making exit true, okay? I gotta stop overthinking. Sorry, guys. Here I am making exit equal true, okay? That's what I'm doing. I'm passing true into exit. Because I pressed 5, exit becomes true. Because exit is equal to true, then I break, right? It breaks right out of the program, which is what we want. Okay? If I press any other number other than 1 or to 5, it's going to print this. Okay? That's essentially what's happening. This is just switch case example in a nutshell. Again, this is kind of how you make a menu. And you got to be careful with your for loops. If you're doing an infinite for loop, right? You got to make sure you have an exit plan. All right? And then this is just a basic simple menu you can create. Where is it being initialized? Well, it's being initialized through our, so it goes into the for loop in choice equals, let's see, that must be initializing it. Are we calling it there? It's waiting. It printed the menu. Okay, I'm just trying to understand a little bit here. It printed the menu. It's waiting for the choice, right? Is what it's doing. When it goes into the menu, it waits for the choice, right? It's waiting here. Okay? As soon as I press a value and enter, then it returns it. Okay? And then it passes it into the switch. Okay, that's essentially in a nutshell how it's working. And then right here is where our other methods are being called. And we're just hard coding, passing values into our method. Okay? It's just hard coding. So, and again, yeah, passing by reference is something if you get a user to enter a value, which, whatever, I was just kind of adding something in. But that's okay. So yeah, that's kind of how that works in a nutshell. I gave you an idea how that's kind of working. Just figuring it out and analyzing it on the fly here, guys. Okay? If it's 2, it'll do this. If it's 3, the else is just going to do. If it's not 2, it's going to do the other one. Right? With the task many. Okay? Depends on what value is being passed. Right? I could pass in, I could do this numerous times. I could go do many 4. I could continue. If I wanted to, right? I don't understand the 4 continue break. For me, it's like either wanted to, why would you want to continue then it to break? It doesn't make sense to see this. A continue is if you wanted to continue. I don't know. For me, you don't put them together. So that's what I'm thinking. And again, if you're doing this type of for loop, make sure you have an exit plan. All right? Right here, we're actually explicitly switching it from false to true just by pressing 5. Okay, there we go. All right? Figuring it out on the fly. That is it, guys and gals. We're going to leave it at that. I don't know, I don't really want to go into overtime here on this. We kind of are. Summary here, maybe I should just get it all done. This is kind of the end of it here. And then so we can get on to new things. That's what we need to do. All right, maybe what I'll do is instead of... So I'll read this. Today's lesson started with a look at the go-to, over the last couple of videos, right? It's time to move on to different things. Again, guys and gals, you're just going to have to practice different switches. There's a lot of different examples on the internet. You could just search switch case, C++, and, there's a lot of sites that are pretty helpful. Okay? A lot of good examples out there you could practice. Avoid using the go-to command, right? It's a bit old school, right? They improved the code. I like the go-tos, but anyways. You were then shown different methods to cause a C++ program to loop that don't require a go-to, okay? The while statement loops check a condition. If it is true, execute the statements in the body of the loop. Do while loops execute the body of the loop and then test the condition, right? It's kind of like a before after thing, right? You guys understand that. The do whiles and the while loops are pretty straightforward. Again, switch cases, it's just another tool in your toolbox. That's all it is. If you don't want to do if-else statements, you could do switch cases, okay? It all depends on what you want to build or create. That is all. Where am I here? If the expression is true, the body of the loop is executed. Again, if it's true, it will go inside the body. The final expression in the for header is then executed and the condition is then checked again. This process of checking the condition, executing the statements in the body, and executing the final expression in the for statement. I know there's a lot here, guys. Conditions until the condition expression, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. I believe you do, right? If you like switch cases, again, like I said, there's going to be a lot on the internet. To save some time, maybe I'll do that, okay? Q&A. How do I choose between if, else, and switch? If more than just one or two else clauses are used, and all are testing the same value, consider using a switch statement. If more than just one or two else clauses are used, and all are testing the same value, consider using a switch statement. Okay? How do I choose between while and do while? If the body of the loop should always execute at least once, consider a do. So essentially, in a nutshell, if you want something printed or whatever, at least once, use a do while. Otherwise, just use a while loop. Okay? How do I choose between while and for? If you are initializing a counting variable, testing that variable, and incrementing it each time through the loop, consider the for loop. If your variable is already initialized and is not incremented on each loop, a while loop might be a better choice. Experienced programmers look for this usage and will find your program harder to understand if you violate this expectation. Okay, again, I guess it just depends on the application, right? It is better to use, here's the question. Is it better to use while true or for? So what they're asking is it better to use a while true, right? Again, this would be a condition, something that switches it to become a 1. That's what you want it to do, something that switches it to a 1. Or is it better to use this? Okay? Is it better to use the while or this other one? No significant difference exists. However, it is best to avoid both. Definitely avoid this, right? Because really, guys, what's happening here is like, this is kind of derpy, right? And sometimes that even, anyways, it's easy to be silly and make mistakes or do silly things, right? But you don't want to do this. You definitely don't want experienced programmers seeing you do this. You need some sort of condition that switches it to a 0 or a 1 somehow. Okay, it just depends on what you're doing. Okay, both are avoided. Again, for loops are commonly seen like this. This is common. Int I equals 0. It could be 0, it could be 1. That's common. Common is either 0 or it's 1. And then we need, like, if I is less than some kind of max value, right? That's the stop. And then we have to plus plus I, right? This is common. Okay? You don't normally, definitely don't do this, okay? Because your while loop's always going to be true. There's nothing to switch it to false, right? Makes sense? These here are kind of sketch because, well, you got to make sure you have to end it, right? Otherwise, you're stuck in an infinite loop, right? Those are the key points here. Why shouldn't a variable be used as a condition, such as while n, right? Because n, well, while it's n can be, again, remember, 0, if n is 0, that's going to be false, but if n is any other number, it's always going to be true, right? So here we go. In the current C++ standard, an expression is evaluated to a Boolean value, or true or false, right? You got to think of that. It's kind of like while true or while false. Maybe I didn't mention that, but that's essentially what it is, right? As long as it's true, it'll run. As long as it's, when it becomes false, then it'll stop, right? So you got to think of these while loops as an on or off condition, right? It's either 0 or it's 1. That's why you don't use n, okay? Boolean value, true or false. Although you can equate false to 0 and true to any other value, it is better and more in line with the current standards to use an expression that evaluates to, right, an expression. While n is not equal to 0, that's what they mean as expressions. This is, people are going to look at this code and know, they're going to know that you have a pretty good general understanding of what's up, right? If they see this, they're going to be like, yeah, this guy needs more practice. I probably need more practice. I don't normally grind up this code that they got in the course outline, so kind of figuring it out on the fly here, guys. Okay. Okay. All right. So here's some workshop stuff, and I'm just gonna screenshot it instead of typing it. Some practice for you. Okay. We'll just start with this. There you go. Begin with that. It's a quiz. Try to answer those questions the best that you can. All right. You can pause it to read it and all those sort of things. Try it out, guys. Right? You gotta kind of wreck code to get better. You want to break things. That's how you're gonna figure things out. Again, you'll figure things out in 5-10 minutes versus 8 hours. Okay. Now, if I was doing this stuff and it took me, I was doing 8-hour streams. Don't hire me. I don't know where I was going with that, but hopefully you get the idea, right? Okay. Yeah, you should be able to figure things out, fairly quickly on the fly. Again, it's going to be grinding code, practicing code, being able to read and decipher the error list, all those sort of things. It's just going to make you better and faster. Okay? Everybody, I don't care who they are, they've come across at least a mistake at one point in their life. Okay, there's some exercises. And then I'll give you one more here. And then I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, I figure I'd do it this way versus just typing it all up. This would be better. It's part of the lesson plan. Okay? Things to try. And that's it for switch statements. I wanted to do that so that we were done. What are we getting into next? I see an enum. Okay, review? Is that what we're doing? We're going to actually get back into creating a rectangle class. I like classes. I work more with that stuff than I do anything else. But of course, naturally, you're still going to have while loops or if-elses. I do a lot of if-else, else-ifs, if, else-if, a lot of those. Most of my code is that. Classes, all those sort of things. That's what I like. Switch case, not so much. But again, it's just another tool in your toolbox. Depends on what you want to do. Alright, guys and gals, that's what we're getting into. It looks like we are... Whoa, what is going on here? What are they doing anyways? I gotta try to figure out what they're doing. Wow. They've got... Okay, quite a bit of code here. Do I type it up? Not? Do I? Don't I? I don't know. There's quite a bit. They're incorporating everything in here, which is kind of neat. A big little program. Okay. All right. Okay. Wow. All right. Interesting. That's a long one. That is a long one. We'll see if we'll do it or not. I don't know. That's gonna... Sheesh. Wow factor. Or we could just move forward. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna test the program, maybe type up the code early on. That way I can save time. Pointers, right? Eventually that's what we're gonna do, is move into pointers. If you guys want me to, I'll do this class. It's doing a rectangle, and then it's gonna print out a rectangular shape using you know how we were using letters before, rows and columns? I'm kind of doing that. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. That is it, guys and gals. I appreciate you watching the pain. My pain is your gain. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something today. That's kind of the goal, I guess. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, supporters, followers, lurkers and twerkers, sandwich making workers, Johnny Whiskey Tango Sharp Coating. Appreciate you all. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Take care for now, and peace.